Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we are doing, it's like a 2-for-1 video. We are doing a review of this knife and then also a comparison between this knife versus this knife. Now this right here is the Kizer Nice Guy. So I just got this in the mail. And the reason why I wanted to do a comparison on it, a comparison on it is because these two, if you're coming into the market of EDC knife, and you're new to the market, you know, you want to start with light, you don't want to break the bank. You also want something that can fit in a small pocket, preferably your fifth pocket, because that's where I like to hold it. And I'm new to this market as well. I had mentioned when I did the review and the updated review, or updated look at the Civivi mini Praxis, that of why this was such a great knife and all the benefits that come along with it. What's interesting is that if you go on Amazon, link's going to be in the description down below, you find this knife for $30. Now, this knife here, which we're about to open up, you can also find on Amazon. Link's going to be in the description down below, made from the company Kizer, which is a very good competitor to Civivi in terms of the quality, in terms of what they offer you. And this is their $30 knife with the same material, same material in every way, the blade and the handle, scales. You have different versions for each one, but generally speaking, you have a version that's the same, which usually their $30 version is the same. So that is why we're gonna get into it. But first, what we're gonna do is unbox this right here. If you check back in my previous video, you'll see the unboxing process of the mini Praxis and everything that it came with. Generally comes inside a Civivi box like this. Matter of fact, I was just gonna compare the knives, but let me take this out and kind of just go through this real quick just so you can see the difference of what they come with, because why not? So maybe you can see them all in one video in case you didn't check those other videos out. So it comes with a little bit of swag. You've got this just showing you different knives that are part of the brand. That's the regular Praxis as well. This is some product information, warranty information, a little kind of knife sticker. You can pause that and read that for yourself. And I believe this is also another type of, I don't know if it's a sticker or not, but more extra swag. And then the case itself is a nice fabric, soft material. From the inside, the outside is your basic nylon material, and it's actually very nice. Is that nylon or is that considered what's the word I'm looking for? Canvas. I'm not too sure, but nice material, nice pouch. Now you wouldn't use it for anything other than storing. You wouldn't like hold it on you because it has no way to hold it on you, and I wouldn't suggest putting this in your pocket because it's just too big. But just to show you what it comes with, that way you know, it gives you that very good feeling of like presentation. And it also comes with, I'm gonna throw all of this on the side. It also comes with this microfiber cloth that I have the knife sitting on, and it actually folds out pretty wide. I'm not gonna do that right now. And here is the Kizer. We're gonna see how easy or non-easy it's gonna be to get into this. Here we go. And let's kind of see their presentation and if it is equal to the Civivi. So I could tell you right off the bat, it's not, because it's not coming with that case, but other than that, it comes with everything else. Now, mind you, no one's going to use that case for the most part, unless it's for storage of your knife. Say if you buy a lot of knives and you end up not using it, you might store your knife in the case that the Civivi came with. But other than that, I'm pretty sure you're not going to use it for any other purposes. And in that regard, you're not missing out. But just the fact that it doesn't come with one of those is still something you might consider a knock against the Nice Guy. Well, Kizer in general, but specifically this being the Nice Guy. So it's G10 scales. We're gonna get into this in a minute. I'm gonna put it aside. Let's go with whatever's inside the packaging. So we have extra screws that come with it. That's a nice touch, because that might be even worth more to you than say the pouch, because for whatever reason, if you need to utilize. Now, I don't know if those screws are so you can reverse this or can use those same screws, but this clip is reversible. Sorry. It also comes with microfiber. Now, it's not as big as the Civivi. I wasn't going to just wave the Civivi cloth outwards like that, but being that this one is a lot smaller, I just want you to see that comparable difference, even though it really doesn't matter. They're both going to do the job of cleaning your knife and whatever, but you can see that difference in size. That's what you're getting. So once again, that Civivi is giving you a little bit more, but once again, at this price range of each of these costing $30, does it even really matter? It really kind of doesn't. I'm going to put this stuff to the side, take it out of frame so that way it's not, camera's not focusing on it. My pouch in the background, my new EDC pouch, which I sometimes put my Civivi knife in, not all the time. So let's just first go with a review of this, and then we're going to go into the comparison. So I'm going to make this, because it's going to be a lot of redundancy, I'm just going to be quick with this. So this would be your liner, I'm sorry, your, I forget the word I'm looking for, but lanyard loop, that's what I was looking for. This is where you could put a lanyard on. Now, Civivi does theirs with that third middle kind of bar, and you can wrap something around it, but we'll get into that more into the comparison. I just wanted to point that out because I didn't mention it inside the review. So you have your clip right here, your belt clip. This right here, it feels almost chalky, but this is G10 as well scales, but it does feel a little chalky in its feeling. Let's see how the motion is, the flip. Now I know I gotta wear it in because this is brand new, but it actually feels very smooth. And I actually feel that the liner lock on this actually feels very nice. And I feel that way because it definitely sticks, it protrudes out a little bit more. So it's easier to reach with the thumb and it feels very soft. So that's actually a plus. We're gonna get into that inside the review. I mean, in the comparison. You see the branding on the blade. I don't know whether you find that a plus or a negative. The smooth blade is gonna end up getting my oils all over it soon, but that's what the rag is for. Nice Guy, Azo Nice Guy D2. I don't know about the Azo, if that's like a parent company or not, but Nice Guy is the name of the knife, and D2 is the name of the blade, blade material. So there's a bit more branding on it, but then again, they don't do branding, and they have a symbol there, their symbol, but they don't do branding like on the screws where Civivi will do that. Like I said, we'll get more into that in the comparison. Aside from that, that is pretty much it for what you're getting here. And now you got some oils there, so you can tell it's new. And now we're gonna jump straight into the comparison. So I'm not gonna do any hard measurements on these. Generally speaking, both of these have a blade that is below 3 inches. Details are gonna be in the description in regards to the links where you can find both of these knives. So when it comes to those specific details of the blade lengths and whatnot, because I think that the Civivi is I wanna say it's either 2.86 inches or 2.90 something. They're both just shy of 3. So we're gonna just take a look at those. I'm gonna try to eyeball it off camera. They are pretty much the exact same length. So you're really not getting anything different between them. You're obviously getting a different blade design. And at first I thought for some reason that I was going to dislike this the way it looks on video. But when I have it in hand and I have it off video, it looks a lot more proportional, the blade to the handle. But sometimes in certain videos, it made it look like the blade seemed short. And here it might come up that way as well. But it doesn't feel like that when you have it in person. But this does feel like it has a little bit more handle than the Praxis does. The Praxis feels like, maybe it's because it's very wide, I don't know, but versus the slimness of the handle, but it feels like you're getting more handle than, I mean, you're getting equal amount of blade as you are to knife, at least on camera, but when you have them in person, they feel roughly about the same. This has that branding on it here, which kind of looks nice. This just has your regular screw imprint there. So I don't know if a person would feel like that makes it feel like it's less quality, but to each their own. Now this has almost like a smoothness to, they're both G10, but the Civivi has a smoothness to the scales. This feels like a chalkiness. Now I'm sure that's gonna go away over time, because even though the Civivi didn't feel that way out of the box, the Kizer, as you get your oils on this, I'm sure it's gonna get rid of that chalkiness feeling to it. But right now it has that chalky feeling to it. I didn't want to, now this comes in the same color as this, with the same material as well, the D2, and the same color scales, the green, but I didn't want to get that because I didn't want the two being, me owning two of the same color for a very similar knife. But at the same time, I do want to say that you can get it like that. So if you are like, well, I'm thinking more on the lines of the Civivi because of the color green, you can get this one in that same color green. So don't let that be your deterrent, because I am a very big fan of the green. But with that being said, look at the edges. I think the Civivi feels nicer in the hands, like I said, because of that. Now this one has those nice curve edges as well, and it's done well. Just the material, the G10 feels chalky in the hands. And like I said, I'm sure that will go away over time once it's once we get a little bit more of my oils just on it from holding it. But right now it feels chalky. As far as the clip goes, Civivi's clip is a little more just straight, and obviously the Kizer has more of a, you know, I mean, it's actually straight, but you get what I'm saying. It's got more of that kind of comes forward and then dips down, where this one is kind of angled downwards from the beginning all the way through. I don't know if that would be considered a plus or a negative to you guys. One thing is Kizer's is not recessed into the G10 scales, while the Civivi is recessed into the scales. But one major difference is this one's not reversible and this one is. So I would say that's more of a positive than a negative, that you even have the option, regardless that it's not imprinted in it, and it makes the other side look smooth rather than having an indent in it. Like I said before, this one has its I forget, I'm having a brain fart again with the lanyard loop. And then this one does it, the Civivi does it like that versus the Kizer. That third one in the middle, you would put a loop around that. So it's a little more hidden. So take it as you will. This one I'm sure is easier to get something in there, and this one is harder, I'm sure, by a lot. But at the same time, this one looks smoother if you don't utilize that. There goes the size when they are not. Hold on, my watch was bothering me. When they are sheathed or, you know, folded, they're still roughly the same. I won't say that you can't really see them like that, but they're roughly the same. The Kizer is a little bit bigger than the Civivi, but it's really not by much at all. They barely notice it. Now the contours of it, this one is flat at the top, that one's curved, and then obviously the angle of this handle. I personally prefer, or I like the shaping of this better than the Kizer. And the Kizer is a little more simple, and this is a little more, you know, angled, and I really like that. I feel the contour is better to the hand in terms of holding it a little bit better. I like the look of the blade better too. Not to say that one's necessarily better in terms of function, but getting into the blade, you'll see here with the Kizer that it has that shape to it, where here it kind of, it's indented here, and then it comes out to get wide. So it's kind of thin at the top here, which is interesting. I forget the term that they call that too, with the ridges on the back. There's a name for it. I forget it at the moment because I'm new to this EDC knife carrying, but you can see, I think it's called chimpering or chamfering. Correct me in the comments for you guys that know, but you have some of that here and you have it here, and you can see that angle just looks very interesting. On the Civivi though, you have it just back here. Let's get that focus. and the rest of the blade is smooth. So it's a little less of a dynamic blade in that regard. Not that that's a functioning part of it, really. I mean, those who are more into knives will know how that's functional versus not. I guess it's to kind of choke up on it and push down over your thumb. But nonetheless, and this does feel more comfortable for that because you got a little more room for it up here versus that small pinch of it here. But, you know, if depending on, I guess, your use. Now, this part has this area, which I hear people talk about in the knife community on these videos. People review videos about putting their finger there as, I guess it's to kind of give you leverage. I'm not really too sure, but Civivi is definitely, the Praxis is more indented in versus the Nice Guy, which is not as much. So overall, like I said, I'm more of a fan of the Praxis with the look and of it more so than the Nice Guy, even though the Nice Guy is not bad. But I'm going to tell you the one area the Nice Guy makes a huge difference, because what I'm saying that I like is really aesthetics. I'm going to tell you the one area that the Nice Guy makes a huge difference that is really very significant, very, very significant. The liner lock is so much better on the Kizer by a lot. It's not a little bit, and I will tell you why it feels so much smoother. So if you look here, and I know that it's hard to see the lighting because that's black. The liner lock is black in there. If I move some of this stuff out the way, I hope it focuses a little better. I don't know if you guys can see this as well. So right here, do you see the liner lock goes all the way down and it becomes a part of the frame right here. And because of that, they do give a little bit of leeway here. You can't really see it on camera like that. The light's not passing through it, so you can't really see it. But like right there, let me see if I could zoom in even better. You could maybe see it. You can see right there, that little like indent. That's because it gives you a little room for the liner to compress like that, to move. You see the liner lock goes all the way down like that. Now, that makes it a little tough to press inwards. It's not hard, but it's not easy. It doesn't have like a smooth click, almost like you're pressing a button. It doesn't feel that way. The Kizer, and you could see it already without me even zooming in on it. It's essentially almost the same thing, but the way it's designed, it's like the weight of it is not going throughout the whole thing, even though it is like that. It's almost like this part's designed a little differently than that. And it's so much more smoother, and it comes out a little bit more. It's a little more towards us to where when I actually click it, it's so much smoother. It's so much smoother that it's almost as smooth as just pressing a button. It really just feels like I'm pressing a button. And I'm sure the deployment, the flip out is going to get easier over time. But as far as just having that flick feeling where you can just put it right back into its reset mode and then flick it out, the pressing that button is so much better. The liner lock, it feels like a button. It's so much better. You could even see it from here at the angle. You could even see it, you know, you could see it. It stands out. But this is so recessed. If it wasn't for like the grooves that are on it, you wouldn't even know that it's not part of the inner frame. I mean, it is part of the inner frame, but it's just that it wouldn't stand out as much if they didn't have those grooves, which is probably the reason why they put those grooves. But those grooves, it just doesn't feel as good, and it feels rough on the finger as well. I'm not saying it's bad, but once you use the Nice Guy, the mini Praxis is not comparing in that area. It really isn't. And I've been flicking this all week long in my car, if I'm driving to work or anything like that. And I'm just kind of flicking out, playing with it, getting used to the knife, which has loosened it a lot more in terms of it deploying outwards, and even a little bit in terms of clicking the liner lock to put it back in. But at the same time, it still doesn't feel good on the thumb. It doesn't feel smooth. And I think those ridges actually make your thumb feel a little more scratchy and get a little more, you know, makes your thumb, the skin of your thumb really rough. This is so smooth. It detents in so easy, like a smooth button. It feels so much better. And I would say that alone could really put this one over the edge for someone choosing to go with this. So if aesthetics of the mini Praxis wasn't better to you and you thought they're both equal, or you thought the Nice Guy looked better, this definitely puts it over the edge, because that is a big deal to me, just in terms of the way it feels. Because I'll be honest with you, most people who probably, if they're gonna be honest with you, they'll tell you what you're gonna be doing most with your knife is just this. Flicking it out and putting it back in. That's what you'll be doing mostly with your knife. And I'm being honest with you. It's not even to knock anybody who are hardcore knife users that use their knives for like carving and this and that. But if you're new into the knife EDC world and you carry your knife on you, most of the time it's gonna probably just sit in your pocket or sit in a pouch. And the only time it's gonna get any actual action is you just flipping it out and playing with it. And for that reason, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people will purchase the button locks, because they're easier to just put away, and then it has you know, a more fidgety aspect to it. But with that being said, as I mentioned before in the previous video, that increases the cost. So that is my comparison. That's my review on the Kizer Nice Guy, and my comparison on the Civivi Mini Praxis versus the Kizer Nice Guy. I wouldn't say there's necessarily a winner per se. I like this one. I like the colors, but I can't give it any weight on that, because you can buy this in the same color. I like the look of this one a little bit better, but I like the feel of the way this one with the liner lock button so much better, that it really could go either way. So I won't say one is better than the other. I do like the scales on this one. Feels better to me. It feels this one feels chalky, but I'm sure this is gonna go away soon. I could probably even wipe this down with a wet cloth and that feeling might even just go away. So this was a head-to-head just comparison. I just wanted to put this out there because, like I said, these are probably, I would say, my opinion, the best starter knives for someone who's trying to get into the EDC knife world. These are the two best starters. And if you go on Amazon, I feel that if you put in Kizer knives, I believe the mini Civivi will pop up. If you put in Civivi knives and you put in the Praxis specifically, but you put in Civivi knives, the Nice Guy always pops up. So he's just that guy sitting in the background being nice, sitting there when you do knife searches. So I think that the two really are like that perfect beginning knife space. You have two options. Like I said, they both have extra colors, different material options for the scales, for the blades and things of that sort. So I definitely would say check that out to see which one suits you. I'm glad that you have these options. They're both $30. They both, at least these configurations, have D2 in the blade, G10 for the scales. Great starter position. Let me know what you guys think down below. As always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.